Bonsoir. Les personnes qui veulent assister à l'interview avec l'actrice du film qu'on vient de voir dans la salle 2, American Zombie, Suzy Nakamura. Prenez place, installez-vous tranquillement.
Rapprochez-vous, rapprochez-vous, n'ayez pas peur.
De mensen die de Q&A willen bijwonen met Suzy Nakamura,
Come closer.
kom er maar gezellig bij zitten.
Oh,
We gaan het interview in het Engels doen, net zoals de films. Er waren toch geen ondertiteling. On va faire l'interview en anglais, comme le film. Il n'y avait pas de sous-titres. So, Suzy, how did this project get started for you? How did you get involved in it?
I did a small project with Grace Lee. It was a short, and thank you. Thank you, Guy. It was a short, and after the short, she asked me, what part do you think you'll never be able to play? What part do you really want to play that you don't think you'll have a chance to? And I said, I really want to play a stupid person, that I never get a chance to play a really stupid person. And she wrote a part who's someone whose brain is rotting.
Are you implying zombies are stupid? Isn't that degrading?
I don't want to offend any zombies out there, but we all know that zombies aren't functioning at 100% brain level.
And how did you prepare for the role? I mean, to be a stupid zombie person?
Well, when Grace didn't tell me she was writing this role for me, but she asked me what I knew about zombies. And she was very serious. And I said, I don't know a lot about zombies, but I can watch some movies. And she said, no, don't watch any zombie movies until we finish this film. So I didn't. But Shaun of the Dead was out at that time, and I really wanted to watch it, but I waited till we finished shooting with Shaun of the Dead, which I loved very much. But I had to wait to see it.
As an actress, you've worked for both. You've worked for both TV. You've been in series like The West Wing and Curb Your Enthusiasm, but you've also done feature films. How did this project feel? More like, because it's filmed like TV, right?
It's actually when I film a television program, there's multiple cameras, kind of like here, and you're on a sound stage. But when you shoot with a single camera, especially a low-budget independent film, you just kind of shoot whatever you can, sometimes without permits. There's a lot of shots that ended up in the movie that are real people. When the people are killed in the apartment and then there's people kind of looking, those were real people looking at what was going on, and we just kind of shot them and they ended up in the movie. And so it's much more of a, do you use the term guerrilla filmmaking?
Not really. I'm not familiar with it.
We call it guerrilla filmmaking, which means you don't have any money and you just turn the camera on and you just try and get as much footage as you can. So that there's an aspect of independent film and American Zombie that was very guerrilla.
And did the director let you improvise a lot for the part, or did you bring anything to the role?
She hired 4 actors that were comfortable with improvising. And so sometimes she would let us improvise, but more as a tool to get the documentary feel. But what we shot was all written. You know, there were some things that we improvised that she added in, but basically she had written these characters so clearly that we shot everything that was written, and then sometimes she would let us improvise so that it felt more like a documentary and more spontaneous.
So it was quite storyboarded, like John's character, own character wanted in the movie.
Not quite, but it was definitely planned.
Was it fun shooting, and also in the desert with this zombie Woodstock situation?
That was a tough shoot. It was definitely tough on Grace, and we shot all night. And again, we didn't have any money, so we had to finish it while we were there. and we were literally there all night. So we shot 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and then the sun came up. But it was fun because you knew, you were hoping that everything that was there would end up on film.
Maybe there's some questions from the audience already. Est-ce qu'il y a des questions dans le public? On a le micro baladeur.
Hello.
Hello.
I like the documentary very much.
Thank you.
But I was wondering, your character was kind of the most complex in the film, starting as this very nice, let's say, peachy lady dreaming of her wedding or whatever, and then you end up being the mindless, flesh-eating zombie in the end. This was intended to show like fate is unavoidable, or is that the message, or once a zombie, always a zombie, or?
I think different people might come away with different messages. I think character-wise, she was the most conflicted with being a zombie. I like to think of it as sort of accepting who you are, you know, or getting to know your own identity. But cinematically, I think it would be the most surprised. You know, people would be the most surprised for her to be revealed as a violent revenant. But if you want to think of it positively, it's someone who's really discovering herself. Right. Growing up, maybe, I don't know. Thank you.
Est-ce qu'il y a d'autres questions? Other questions?
I actually have a question in the meantime. You can, which is linked to this question.
Yes.
Right. So the film starts as a, talking about you can compare it to immigrants, minorities, all these problems. The zombies have their own subculture and so on. And in the end, they turn out to be really evil. It turns out that the fat man who wants to kill them is actually right. Isn't that maybe risky in a way for certain audiences to misinterpret?
Sure. I mean, there's always room for misinterpretation when you're talking about something symbolic, but every single person is going to assign a different meaning, to in the United States, people have compared them to the Mexican immigration or the Muslim community or even social minorities like gay and lesbian or anything, depending on your own experience. But it does, I guess the most negative aspect of that ending is perhaps why do stereotypes exist? They must exist for a reason or have some basis. But I don't know. That sort of takes the humor away. And I don't want people thinking about it that much.
We can move on to the question from the audience, yes?
Yes, hello. First, congratulations for your documentary. I missed the beginning of the Q&A session. Just 3 simple questions. How many days of shooting? What camera did you use? And what was the budget?
These are very technical questions that I am not the filmmaker, but I can answer. We shot in 18 days. The mini DV camera that the character John used was exactly what you saw with the night vision. The camera our director of photography used, I don't know, technically. And what was the other question? The budget? I have no idea. I've
read somewhere it was $1 million.
Yeah, I've read somewhere too. It was probably the same thing. It was for $1 million. U.S.
Thank you.
dollars.
So are there more questions from the audience?
Yes.
Yeah, one last question. Were you inspired, or have you seen the short movie called Zombie American? The other?
I have not seen it, but I've heard it mentioned because of the similarity in name, but I haven't seen it. I don't know where I could see it.
I don't know neither. Thank you.
Do you think that the documentary was a way to make fun of all the politically engaged documentaries in the United States? You know, all the Michael Moore stuff and everything was
I think so.
a parody?
I think the parody the parody reached a bunch of different victims, I guess you would say, but definitely personal documentary, which you see in a lot of film festivals. You know, the personal, this is what I went through kind of thing. And I think one of the funniest endings of American Zombie is that the filmmakers, one of the filmmakers gets killed, basically, which is true cinema verite. I don't think they set out to necessarily make fun of filmmakers or documentaries, but I do believe that's a funny aspect of it.
More questions? Yes?
Is this on? Okay, there we go. I'm sure I asked you this last night. I don't remember exactly your answer, whether you've played this in other places outside of America before. As an American, it's called American Zombie. It's an extremely American movie. But I know you're getting questions about whether they, represent minorities and like what the zombies like represent. I was wondering whether you get that also in America, whether people see it more as a comedy, or that when people see it here and they look at it as a comment on America also, if there's been a different reaction from an American audience.
We've shown in the United States. We showed at the Slam Dance Film Festival and South by Southwest. And some of the laughs are in different places, but we got reviewed a couple times, and the reviewers were saying it's about this or about that, which isn't necessarily so. I think Americans. I actually think the humor is the same, because I believe no matter where you are, you either have an immigrant population or a minority population or some sort of marginalized community within wherever you are. And I think hopefully that the film can be appreciated on that level. Did I answer your question? We got a similar reaction in the United States.
All right. You have more questions? Then maybe if there aren't any more questions, we can have a last question that I wanted to ask. Now that you got to play the part that you wanted, which is a stupid person, what would be your next goal?
That's a good question. Honestly, I had so much fun playing Judy as sort of inept. I honestly would like to do it again.
You haven't had enough.
I haven't had enough. It was so fun. Maybe even someone who falls down a lot or something. I've just found that so freeing. I would love to do it again. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for watching the film and supporting independent film. Thank you so much. And thank you, BIFFF.
Thank you.
Il y a une séance d'autographe maintenant pour ceux qui veulent. Donc, mademoiselle restera
Voor de
ici.
mensen die een handtekening willen, loop nog niet weg.